There we go. I would like to go back real quick to my preseason prediction of the Houston Texans because it was all correct. I said they'd win the division. I said C.J. Stroud would take a step back because of a tough play. And I said they'd play the Saturday playoff game because they always do. I was 3 for 3.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a tough one with the Chargers.
Yeah. We're going to start with AFC?
Yeah. You want to start AFC?
Yeah. Texas,
I wanted to start with
I am I'm in the Harbaugh camp. I think I don't know what I picked them to do at the beginning of the year, but I believe in their defense.
Oh, yeah.
The thing that's tough is J.K. Dobbins is out, right?
He was.
I know he was hurt. I don't know if he's playing.
He came back.
Okay.
Let me see the last regular season.
That would be the only.
No, he was back. He had 100. No, I'm looking at the wrong game. I'm sorry.
I'm going to tell you about J.K.
Because they played the Raiders in the first week and the last week. Yeah, he was back. He had 18 carries.
Okay. If he's back, then I think they've got a chance. They only need one or two guys to be great on offense. And, but you never know, man. This could be when the Texans do step up.
I just don't see it, if I'm being honest, on the Texans. Well, Stroud, what the complaint against Stroud was last year, and what I was saying in the preseason is against good defenses, he's kind of mid-average. He destroys bad defenses, as he should, a good quarterback. And I think he's a good quarterback. Mm-hmm. But I don't think he's a great quarterback. If that makes sense. He was a rookie, and everyone's like, wow, that's amazing. And I thought that was his ceiling. Like that's about as well as he can play. I didn't love him coming out of college, if I'm being honest. Like, I'm not trying to crap on the guy.
Yeah, same.
I didn't think he was going to be a superstar. Now, obviously, it's his second year. He still can develop. But this year, even with better receivers and a very balanced offense, he has just not looked great. He's looked pretty average.
He's in a slump.
Yeah, and the defense has played well enough, and the running game has played well enough to where they're 10-7. But where is their good win? They beat the Bills. That's a good win. But other games, they got killed by the Vikings. They lost to the Lions. They lost to the Chiefs. They lost to the Ravens.
Right.
And it's
They've lost all the games that really matter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you look at the C.J. Stroud versus Herbert, Herbert's got, they got about the same amount of yards, but he just been so more efficient. He's 23 touchdowns, 3 picks. CJ's got 20 and 12. So, yeah, he just been a little bit more of a loose cannon this year. And then Mixon. Is Mixon healthy right now?
It's hard to say. He's had so many touches and injuries that it's
you never know. He's the most interesting player in the league, man, especially in fantasy. You always think, he should be out of the league by now, and then he's like a top 5 rusher, or, 1,000-yard rusher or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, the last 2 games for Mixon, he didn't play last week, and then he barely played against the Ravens. They got curb stomped by the Ravens, so he only had 9 carries that week. Right. So they played. The Texans played 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 playoff teams this year. Guess what their record was?
2-4,
1-5.
Woo.
Yeah. So I definitely have my doubts. For the Chargers, when we first started this, I said they're a team I'm interested in because I like the Harbaugh boys.
Same.
I like the way they coach. At one point I said I think they're going to win the division. That was obviously wrong, but the Chiefs won a lot of games. They went through they won their first 2, then lost 3 out of 4. So they were sitting 3-3, and then 8-3 to finish the season, and only one loss was a really bad one. They got kicked in the pants by the Buccaneers. But I mean they've looked good. They have the top scoring defense in the league. They've got a better score. They've got a better scoring offense and defense than the Chiefs. So that's kind of funny.
Yeah, that's the thing. Their defense wins championships.
Everyone talks about the Eagles' defense, but the Chargers defense actually has given up less points.
I just trust Harbaugh in tough situations. NFL playoffs, I mean, he's made it to the Super Bowl, been to the NFC Championship a couple times, obviously won the national championship with Michigan last year. I'm going to take the Chargers, brother.
Yes, I agree. This is going to be one of those. I think it's going to be a dominant performance by the Chargers. I'm thinking 34-20.
Oof.
Like, I think it's going to be 31-20.
I'm going to say it's going to be 20-14.
2014. Yeah, they might play it still tighter due to the playoffs. I really like the Chargers this week to take care of business. That's the early Saturday game. The other Saturday game is the Ravens and Steelers. They meet again.
Two of my preseason kind of like favorite storylines, favorite teams. Obviously, I said this is going to be that Lamar gets it done.
Mm-hmm.
Am I still confident in that? Now that we're in the playoffs, I feel like old Lamar. I'm like, hopefully he can get it done. But the Steelers, I feel like they peaked in like week 12.
Right. When they beat the Ravens.
Yeah, right. And now they've kind of just started going downhill. What have they lost? Last 4 or something like that?
They lost 3 in 11 days, which is crazy to me.
Yeah.
You could play. First of all, you had to play 3 games in 11 days. And yeah, they lost their last 4 games.
Right.
Yeah, they're definitely trending downward. They had once Russell Wilson came in, they won 5 straight and were looking good. They were 8-2. They were battling for the 1 seed. Then they lost to Cleveland, and you're like, But then they won their next 2, and I'm like, okay, they're 10-3.
Right.
They'll probably win the division. And then they went on that. Lost to the Eagles, lost to the Ravens, lost to the Chiefs, lost to the Bengals to finish the year out and get probably, other than the Bills, the toughest matchup. Because, the Ravens started 0-2 and then finished the season. When did they finish? They finished the season 12-3. So they went on quite the tear at the end.
Yeah, I think I'm definitely going to take Baltimore in this one myself.
Baltimore.
Yeah.
Baltimore, not comfortably, because the Steelers always find a way to muddy up the game a little bit. It's going to be I feel like this is going to be 1916, 1914.
Is this a dual quarterback game for the Steelers?
Honestly, I was thinking that last game, dude, the offense is not working. Get Fields in there for a couple series.
Right.
They're professionals. They're mature enough. They're all on 1-year deals anyway. Get Fields in there.
I think that would be a smart move to almost kind of go back to week 2 to 3 offense, what they were doing.
Just run.
Try to get him, if he can get him 80 yards on the ground, that's huge.
It's game changing, especially against the Ravens run defense, which allows the lowest yards per carry in the league. I've written about that multiple times in fantasy football. I know that stat, so I'm they're lowest running. They keep the lowest running against the league.
It's a Harbaugh brother, though. So
give me Raven.
Yeah, give me Ravens. I think pretty easily.
All right, then we go to the Sunday games. So you got. Oh, that's the Monday game. Sorry, you got Buccaneers, Commanders. You have Eagles, Packers, and you have Bills and Broncos. So 3 games I am actually very, very excited about. Where do you want to start? You want to finish off the AFC?
Let's finish off the AFC. Let's go. Bills, Broncos. I think that's probably going to be the easiest game in the first round.
You think so?
I think the Bills handle them pretty easily.
Okay.
The Broncos aren't ready for the playoffs yet with that team. Even though they do have Sean Payton and Bo Nix can sling that thing. I think
he's definitely played a lot better. Yeah.
I think the Bills are. They're probably the best team in the league right now. Probably the best team. They are the team to lose in the playoffs. I mean, obviously the Chiefs are the number 1 seed. You could argue the Lions are better.
Right.
But yeah,
I mean, they beat both those teams. They beat the Chiefs. They beat the Lions. So
it's kind of the Bills to lose, and I don't see them losing this round. Now, stay tuned for next week.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. I think Denver's playing really well. I know they lost a couple weeks ago to the Chargers. The Chargers handled them pretty well. The offense is playing better. They have a top 7 defense. I do agree. Buffalo's favored by 8.5, which I think is a little bit ridiculous. And you got a high chance. You have a 25% chance of snow right now, which means it's a running game, which I like Josh Allen a little better. So I do think the Bills win, but I think it's going to be a closer game than expected. I think Sean Payton knows how to call it. I think Bo Nix is playing really well right now. The Broncos' running game, I just think is their weakness. They just have never been able to really get a guy going this year.
Williams has 513 yards. He's their lead rusher.
Yeah, not great. It's ugly.
Yeah, I think Bo Nix is going to have to throw for 40 to 50 attempts to keep it even close.
So you like the Bills big, huh?
I like the Bills big. I think the Bills put up 30 plus. If they can make it, if they can force the Broncos into a shootout, they'll stomp them.
Yeah. I'd agree with that. I don't think the Broncos can score enough to keep up.
Yeah, Sean Payton can slow the game down somehow.
That's my thought process because Bo Nix is a very accurate quarterback. So if they can put together some 12-play drives, kind of like what the Packers did to the Cowboys last year. The stadium was amped up, Dak was amped up, everyone was amped up, and the Packers went like on a 12, 15-play drive, took up 10 minutes, touchdown. Cowboys go 3 and out. They chew up the clock again for another touchdown, and all of a sudden it's the start of the second quarter, and you've thrown 2 passes. It's like, what is happening?
They zapped the clock. I forgot about that. They
zapped it, and then it caused them to panic. Like going 3 and out happens. You don't want to go 3 and out, especially on your opening drive. But yeah, then all of a sudden it's like, oh crap! Then you start to speed up.
Yeah,
it's like slow down. You're only down 14. You're down 2 scores. Let's slow down.
Right.
But instead they got antsy and got clocked.
That could happen. It could definitely be.
But yes, I like Buffalo as well. Yeah. And now to the National Football Conference.
Favorite game over there?
It depends. Because Jalen Hurts is still on the concussion protocol, and Jordan Love might be hurt. So let me just put that out there first. Both quarterbacks might be hurt in that game. But go ahead. All right. What's your favorite game?
Well, we'll start with that game since we're on it. My thought process might be over for the Eagles.
Really?
I think the Packers are going to do exactly what they did to the Cowboys last year, which is funny that you were just talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. They haven't played well in big games this season. They played well in the playoffs last year, and it's practically the same team. So is Hurts going to play or not? I guess they call him questionable.
Yeah, so he is still in the concussion protocol, so nobody knows.
I bet he'll play, if I had to guess.
Yeah, I mean, we got some time. So that's the big question mark, which makes it really hard to call this game yet.
Mm-hmm.
Because Hurts is still in the concussion protocol, which is not it's not a linear thing. It's not like, okay, 4 days and da-da-da. And then, Christian Watson for the Packers, their fast receiver, tore his ACL. And Love got hurt as well last game against the Bears. So I
can't believe they lost to the Bears. But.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, you lose your quarterback.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of hard.
Yeah, if Love plays, I'm going to go Packers. But if Love and Hurt play, let's just say.
Mm-hmm.
But there could be too much offense from the Eagles as well.
Yeah, I think the Eagles will win this game because I think their offensive talent is just too good. Saquon's too good, playing too well. The offensive line's playing well. Even their backups played well without Jalen Hurts. They still scored 33 against Washington.
Yeah.
So I still think they have enough talent to take care of business.
Yeah.
But if the Packers do it, like you said, what they did, they're running the ball with Josh Jacobs really well. They're taking the air out of the games pretty early on, most games. What was the game they played the other? It wasn't maybe it was the Vikings
game.
Like
they're almost formatted better for the playoffs.
Yeah, it was let me see if I can get the play-by-play. It was the Seahawks game. So, okay, Jordan Love, this is the first drive, 10 plays, 63 yards. Jordan Love to Jacobs, 6 yards. Jordan Love to Jacobs, 13 yards. Jacobs for 3 yards. Jacobs for 4 yards. Jacobs for 5 yards. Jacobs for 8 yards. Jacobs for 5 yards. Jacobs for 1 yard. Jacobs for 4 yards. Oh, Love for 4 yards. Jacobs for 1 yard. Josh Jacobs had 62 of the 63 yards and 9 of the 10 touches that drive.
Wow.
They just fed him the ball all the way down the field, chewed up a lot of clock. Then the Seahawks punted, and then they did the same thing, and it was 14-0. Same thing. You're like, crap.
Yeah. They could just chop up the clock, and, Hurts gets scatterbrained and throws a pick. It's a big pick.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I see the Eagles have so much firepower on offense, and my boy Saquon, so I'll be rooting for the Eagles. I'll be rooting for the Eagles.
I can't do that legally, but I think they'll win.
Yeah, that's hard.
It's a hard one. It's a hardball.
Bucks Commanders. I'm afraid. You ready to move on to that?
Oh yeah, let's do it.
I want to root for. I mean, I love Baker. I love Mike Evans. I want to root for them so bad, but for some reason, I got a suspicious feeling they haven't been playing as well lately either. They almost lost to the Saints.
Yeah, they lost. They've won 4 of 5, but yeah, they almost slipped the division away.
I have a sneaky feeling Kingsbury is going to have the Commanders dialed on offense, and this is going to be like a 42-35 game.
Oh, you think? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a shootout, and I think the Redskins are going to take it. But I want the Bucks to win. I'm emotionally tied to them winning.
The Buccaneers have a really good pass defense. They rank. Wait, hang on. Is this alphabetical? Why would you do it alphabetical? I was looking at the yards. I was like, that doesn't make sense alphabetical. I was like, wait a sec. I've been looking at the stat all year. No, the Buccaneers have a horrible pass defense. Yeah, I was like, that makes no sense.
Yeah.
So they are 30th of 32 in pass defense. Their rush defense is much better. They still got Vita Vea. They are 4th in rush defense. So, if Jaden Daniels can air the ball out, kind of like what you're saying, Kingsbury can get it dialed. The crazy thing about this, so I know Tampa Bay is kind of one ugly, and they lost to the Cowboys. So they crushed Carolina in between that. But yeah,
I guess they are 4-1 in their last 5, though. I was just looking at that.
Yeah, but 2 of their last 3, they've played kind of poorly. I agree with you. Like, they played poorly against Dallas. They almost gave the division away against New Orleans. They curb stomped Carolina between that, as they should. But Washington's won 5 straight. They beat the Eagles. They beat Atlanta. The other 3 games are New Orleans, Tennessee, and Dallas, so nothing to brag about. But,
right.
5 straight's 5 straight.
Yeah.
I love Baker.
Me too, man.
And kind of like what you were saying about the Broncos not being ready to win yet, I just don't think that it's Jaden Daniels' time to win yet. I know he's a Heisman Trophy winner. He's been a winner at every level. But
we get that.
Yeah, give me Tampa Bay in a tight one. I just think the defense.
Tampa Bay also. They showed up in the playoffs last year.
They stomped Philly and they almost beat Detroit. Yeah,
right. They're right there. a couple plays away from potentially being in the Super Bowl, which is wild.
It's how close the league is.
Yeah, you said their passing defense sucks, right?
Yeah, it's horrible.
Great offense though. So I don't
stop
know.
the run.
Yeah.
I think the key.
I'm going to say Commanders win, but I'm tied emotionally to the Bucs winning. You.
I'm going to go Buccaneers.
Okay,
in a close one. I think Bucky Irving, the rookie running back.
Yeah.
So get this: Tampa Bay 4th in the league in rush yards, and they are. I just had it. There we go. 3rd in the league in pass yards. So like their defense is absolutely cooking. And so I think Bucky Irving gets going. I think Baker gets going. It's a home game. It's a playoff game. They live for the big games. I think Tampa Bay squeaks out a close one. Like a higher score. Because I mean, you look at the
38, 35, something like that.
Yeah, I was thinking 30-27. Because playoffs are a little tighter typically. But yeah, you look at the last 5 games for each of these teams, 30-24, 36-33, 26-24. Yeah, so I just think it's going to be in the 34-30 range.
I like it.
Big games. Man, this is exciting. I'm really excited for football this weekend.
I'm going to break your heart on this last one.
Rams-Vikings?
This is going to be the moment when everyone's like, are y'all sure Sam Darnold's good? I think Sean McVay is underrated as a coach.
Oh, man, he's so good.
He's so good. He somehow gets into the playoffs almost every year. And I think that the Rams are going to be dialed and they pull it out. I think Darnold's going to have a rough week. They weren't able to do much against the Lions. I think they put up 9 points.
Yeah.
So that's my quick take. I'm going to go Rams.
So I agree with you on everything. So Darnold had 3 touchdown passes he missed. One of them was super obvious. The guy ran the slant. He's open. He clutched. And that's when you know it's bad. He's seeing ghosts. He hesitated. And then, of course, you hesitate in the NFL. He's no longer open. He missed Justin Jefferson twice in the end zone. What Detroit did is they're like, we're going to man up on Jefferson with our 3rd-string corner because that's who they got left.
Yeah.
And we're just going to blitz him. And we're going to hit him. And we're going to hit him. And kind of like, man, it was like he had flashbacks to his Jets. Yeah, because when he was with the Jets, he had no time.
Yeah.
And you kind of get not punch drunk, but you get kind of like gun shy a little bit, and you're like, you start to hesitate, see ghosts out there. And I agree. I think the Rams are going to do the same thing. They're going to blitz them. And so I think Kevin O'Connell needs to figure out a game plan where they're running the ball a little bit more.
Yeah.
Or they're giving him some quick ways to quickly get rid of it. Otherwise, I think he's in for a long day.
Yeah. And I'm also, I don't want to watch the Lions and Vikings play again next week.
Yeah, it was a fun game for most of it.
Yeah, it was a great game. It's just, haven't they already played twice this year?
Yep.
And that would
Detroit got them both.
Time. So it's hard to beat a team 3 times, but maybe not at the same time.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Once you got them, you got them.
Once you got, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, it is, because you got enough tape that you're like, who knows? Who knows?
Are you taking the Rams or?
I'm taking the Rams. I agree with you.
Okay.
Yeah, so I go Rams. I got Rams, Eagles, Buccaneers. So I got all the home teams. I got Chargers, Ravens, Bills.
Yeah.
So that would make some juicy Chargers, Chiefs, Ravens, Bills in the second round, Eagles, Buccaneers, Rams, Lions. Some real juicy matchups.
Mm-hmm.
I would just be like glued to the TV all weekend.
Especially Rams, Lions.
I'd hire a babysitter and just sit in the garage all day.
Yeah. Once you get down to the final 8, man, the football's so good.
That's my favorite round. This next round is my favorite round. This round's fine. The next, but you still got a couple teams in there. You're like, But once you get to this next round, that's my favorite. That's when the games are good, where an upset will happen. Like
that's
I think the Chargers will be the Chiefs.
That's when I dial in and literally watch from start to finish every single game.
Mm-hmm.
You just sit on your butt the whole weekend. It's gonna be good.
Every play matters. Football.
Who's gonna be the team of the week? Who's gonna be the best team in the first round? The team that wows everyone. They're like, holy crap, they could go the distance.
A surprise team I think for that would be Tampa Bay. Okay. If they put up like ungodly numbers, we're like, oh wow, that was awesome. So I think they could be a team that's like they've already beaten the Eagles and they've already beaten the Lions. Mm-hmm. So if there's a team that either of those are scared of, it's a team that's already beaten them.
Right.
They're such a weird team though. They'll beat the Lions. Mm-hmm. And then they'll get slapped by the Falcons, and then they'll, lose a squeaker to the Chiefs and lose to the 49ers, and then destroy the Chargers, and then lose to the Cowboys, and then destroy the Panthers, then, squeak one out against the Saints.
And barely beat the Saints.
And you're like, what is going on here? Stop
it. What in the world?
Can you make your mind up?
I'm going to go with the Rams. I think the Rams somehow handle the Vikings, and they make the Lions scared. Oof. It's going to be the trade game.
Mm-hmm. Gosh, love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Who's your, you have an early Super Bowl pick?
Ooh. Be honest with myself here. Let me think, man. I'm afraid to pick the Ravens.
It's been hurt too many times.
It's been hurt too many times. I am going to go, dude, I'm going to steal your pick.
Let's go.
Lions.
Let's go.
I'm going to say it's Lions Chiefs.
Restore the roar.
And I think the Lions handle them.
Ooh.
It would be great to see the Lions win.
I would love it.
I had a soft spot for them when I was younger. Because
Barry Sanders?
Well, we were the Lions where I grew up.
Oh, okay.
So I was always like, I had those little football helmets you have?
Oh, yeah. I had
the Detroit Lions one because it was the Lion. I was like, oh, there's a Lions team. There's a pro Lions.
Disappointed 9-year-old Casey.
So.
Yeah, disappointed 9-year-old Casey's like, this team's trash.
Yeah, I'm like, they stink. So
kid was trying to argue with me how great Matt Stafford was. And I was like, he didn't win a playoff game because he's like, I think the Rams because Stafford's so clutch in the playoffs. And I was like, he was 0-4 in the playoffs with the Lions. So no, he wasn't. He had all that talent. He was great in Detroit. It's like, no. I mean, he was, but no.
Yeah, he never won a game.
He never won a playoff game. He lost to Dak and to Tony Romo. Maybe just Tony Romo.
He took one of the hardest hits of all time. Remember that time he was mic'd up and got demolished, and then
and then they challenged the play so they could pop his shoulder back in and get back in there. Dude's a dog.
You stick with the Lions?
Yeah, I'm sticking with the Lions. I've been on pick all year. I want them to win so bad.
I'll have to get a Jared Goff jersey or something.
Get Jahmyr Gibbs or Amon-Ra St. Brown, my dog.
There you go. I like him. Yeah, he's cool.
I know you're watching Amon-Ra, studying our tape to help your podcast.
It's all good, brother. You can have it.
Send me a jersey, please. You want to talk college?
Yeah, let's go CFP. CFP. Oh my gosh. I got a buddy who, if Ohio State beats Texas, he wants me to go watch the national championship game with him.
Live?
Yeah. He's a big Ohio State fan.
Okay. Like he wants you to go to the game?
Yeah. It's in Atlanta.
Oh.
Maybe. We'll see what happens.
Tickets. Okay.
We'll see how much the tickets are, and if I can get a Greyhound bus to get over there. So
a Greyhound bus, not an airplane.
Yeah,
ride a bus. Man, it's going to be.
Unfortunately, I think Texas is going to win.
Okay. What makes you think that?
I think that their defense is incredible. Mm-hmm. They had that impressive stat, which I think it's not as good now. They'd only given up 3 or 4 plays of more than 20 yards.
Oh, dang.
Over the course of the whole year, I believe it was. Might have been passes, but Either way, it was something crazy, but they've got like two different guys in their secondary who are going to be in the league. Mm-hmm. I think their defense is what's going to be the difference, and they're pretty efficient on offense. They can ebb and flow, but as long as they don't stall like they did second half last week, I think that I think they can pull it out. I hate to say that, but I think this is what's going to happen.
Yeah, Ohio State is favored by 5.5. Now that just could be old money.
Yeah,
betting on it. I agree with you. Texas defense is fantastic. For me, the key player by far is Quinn Ewers. Kind of like what you said. It's and like we'd said before, Texas offense is very clunky. Mm-hmm. He had a bad interception last game. Took some bad sacks. Ohio State's defense is elite. I was reading that they have Ohio State and Texas have 21 players who are top 3 round draft picks in the NFL. Like
holy crap.
Their grade level. Like basically half
their defense in particular.
I don't know the break. I didn't read the breakdown. All of them. But basically, like each team has half their lineup would be starting in the NFL. Because if you're drafting the first 3 rounds, you should make the league. You should be starting. Is basically the premise. So the fact that they have 21 guys total who would be starters in the NFL is just fantastic. I think the winner of this game wins the national championship. Yeah. That's pretty obvious to me. Obviously, anything can happen, but Texas just is shaky at times, and they just lose the plot sometimes. The Buckeyes passing game, they had the top 2 wide receivers are Smith and Ubuka. I could be butchering that name. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. And they've had 442 yards and 5 touchdowns in these 2 games. So they're going to be tested. The problem with Texas is their schedule. They haven't faced a top 20 passing passing offense this year, and Ohio State is 4th. So we will see how good the Texas passing defense is. That's the key matchup for me. And then we'll see if Quinn Ewers has a weird game or if he can stay consistent. Because if he can lock in, I have no doubt, like Texas has the talent. They've shown it over and over again. But, I'm expecting an Ohio State victory because of shaky play. That's nice. I think a close game. I think home field advantage will be slightly Texas because it's played in Dallas.
Yeah.
But
hoorah.
The way they handled Oregon was shocking to me.
Oh my gosh, they beat the brakes off of Oregon.
It was 34-0 right before halftime. Or I know Oregon scored a touchdown there at the end, but it was and the Oregon quarterback was just not Gabriel. I was like, I can't remember his name right now. He was missing he was playing unsteady, and that's how Quinn Ewers plays all year. Yeah. A little bit, missing a couple passes or not hitting his guys. I just see Ohio State not running away with it. It's going to be a close one.
Yeah, if they peak early, it's going to be tough for Texas to come back. Mm-hmm. They hit them in the mouth. Notre Dame, Penn State. I'm going to go with Notre Dame, man.
Yeah, why is that?
Notre Dame's 13-1. I recognized the first game of the year when they played against Texas A&M and they beat us. I said, man, their defenses, they're good.
Yeah.
I'm like, we can't do anything against it. We can't pass. They got us, locked up. So I think it's the same kind of thing. I think the defense wins, and Penn State can't move the ball against them. Penn State also has a good defense, but I think I'd give Notre Dame the nod offensively. You get that Riley Leonard kid, dual threat quarterback. He's been in a lot of college games, played at Duke. I give them the nod, man.
Yeah, I agree with you. Real quick, Ohio State, by the way, ranks number 1 in defense in the nation as well. So,
holy crap.
Yeah, I'm sticking with that one. Yeah, I agree with you. I think Notre Dame's defense And I've never been a believer, and this is just history. And I know like teams change over 25 years, but man, it feels like Penn State gets to this point and can't go any further.
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
This is just like there's
they get
blue
their feet
bloods
stuck in the mud.
Yeah, there's blue bloods, top-notch teams that can overcome it, and there's teams who just get stuck right here.
Right.
And it feels like since I was born, which is 1989, since then it's like Penn State gets stuck right there at 10-2, always finishing second or third in the Big Ten. And so, yeah, I know it's not like analytical or statistics based. It's just history based, and it's just gut feeling based. But yeah, I think Notre Dame wins this one like 27-14, and Penn State can't get out of their own way. One of those type of games.
Yeah, I could see that. So
I missed on Georgia's quarterback being good. That was my fault.
Yeah, that was tough, being the backup.
I thought that Georgia's backup would be better than that. That was my fault.
They just lost, man. He had a great first drive.
Mm-hmm.
That first drive was great. And then that play at the end of the first half, that was just unfortunate. I think it was like 9-6, 6-3 at that point.
Yeah, and
they got a strip sack and then scored.
Yeah,
and they took the kickoff back at the beginning of the second half, and
that was the game.
Man, that's it. Like literally within 2 minutes, and then they just had to go back and forth and hold them off.
Because Leonard only had 90 yards passing and he had 80 yards rushing, so it's not like he had this dominant game, but he did enough. I mean, they had the lead.
Balanced.
Yeah. Perfectly balanced.
Yeah.
200, but
now let me tell you about 90 and 80. What else we got? We got anything else to end on?
I wanted to revisit our goals for last year. How was your book goal?
Holy crap. That was a year ago?
It was a year ago. It's time for new goals.
Oh, we got to redo that. What's funny is as soon as you said 1989, I opened up a tab and I'm actually going to order, not the Taylor Swift album, but
I didn't say anything.
The 1984 Orwell. I haven't read that in a while. I used to have a copy of it here. I was like, man, I want to reread that. Like, it's been probably since college since I've read it.
It's good.
How many books did I read? I didn't count. My goal was 20.
Mm-hmm.
I probably read about 10 to 12.
Hey, that's good. That's real good.
Yeah, halfway there. Living on a prayer.
Dude, double digits is phenomenal.
Yeah. So, but I take into account, like, I read so much on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm. For work.
Like, yeah, for work. Going through, whether it's specs, drawings, and then even just like on Twitter and articles. And so, yeah, I like what I did last year in terms of reading. I think it was I think 10 to 12 is good enough for me.
That's yeah, you got to know what your number is.
Yeah.
So one of the books I read last year, which is fine, was Atomic Habits. Would I say overrated? A little bit.
That's when we lost it.
No, we did lose it, yeah. One of the things he talked about,
I would agree. It's actually, I've read that. I read about 60% of it, and
got it. Then
I was like,
I got it now.
Okay, I understand how to do things. Like,
I got this now. Yeah,
you could have just told me 28 days, and
yeah, easy.
Yeah.
The only thing, the real big takeaway that he had there was habit stacking, and I realized I listen to books while I'm working out, so I need to work out so I can reach my book goal. So that's where I'm like, if I do my workout goal, I can also reach my book goal.
Oh yeah,
both. 100%. So if I can I'll either go 0 for 2 or I'll go for 2 for 2.
I guess habit stacking is a good way to say it. I also say I call it discipline dominoes. Like as soon as I get disciplined in one area of my life, like let's say like the diet or something, all of a sudden there's like 4 other things that like come to mind. Like I'm going to sleep. I'm going to start sleeping more at night. I'm going to do this. I'm going to drink more water.
It's like your body craves it. You're like, I need to go to sleep. I'm tired. Oh, I need to do that. Yeah. It makes total sense.
Yeah. It starts everything starts getting connected. So Interesting. What was did you have a book goal or did you?
My book goal was 20 and I did 25.
Holy crap.
Yeah. Well, I mean, seminary is a big part of that. You got to read, I had to read like 12 to 15 books for seminary. So like that was
count.
That was a hard, So it does count. I read them.
No, I said now I want to count.
Oh, okay. I thought you said that
yours count for sure.
I was like, okay, geez. My golf goals, I got some of them. I did break, so I assumed I'd play 30 rounds. I don't think I played 30 rounds. I wanted to break 95 times. I did that. I wanted to break 80. I did not do that, but I did get an 84, which is my record. So that was nice.
That's pretty good.
I wanted 25 birdies. I was nowhere close to that. I think I did like 10 to 15. I didn't keep good enough track, but I was nowhere close to that. And I wanted 100 pars. And I think I was averaging like 5 pars a round. So I think I was getting close to that. I also did break 40 one time in 9. I shot that 39.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. So I accomplished like, let's see, 1.
That's a pretty good golf year.
Yeah, pretty good little golf year. So yeah, because I PR'd, I broke 40. I did not have a round where I didn't lose any balls, so I didn't do that one. 100 pars, I probably got that. 25 birdies, I was nowhere close. I did not break 80, and I did break. So I had 6 goals, and I did 4 of them. So not bad. Not bad at all.
Here's my golf goal for this year, because I had some really good.
Well, you were smoking it on the drives.
I was smoking it on the drives last year. I got to where I was averaging like a 280 drive.
Man, you nuked them with that one day.
That's gone now.
How'd you lose it again?
No, not really. It's still there. I was what's it called when you hit it right?
Slicing
the ball a couple times last week. I want to get back to, with every club, I don't even know how I would say this. It's like the for every 100 yards, you want to be within, what is it, 10% or 30%? So like if I'm hitting a club 100 yards, I want that shot to land. It has to be within a 10-yard window.
Oh, like getting.
And then if I'm hitting it 200 yards, I want to be within a 20-yard window.
Gotcha.
So like I can miss. Yeah. So we'll just call that a 10% rule.
Yeah.
That's my one goal for this year, is getting back to that.
Because you get your distance.
When I hit the ball 315 yards and then I shank it into the neighbor's yard on the 110-yard chip, that is the most. It takes your legs out from underneath you.
You just want to go home.
Yeah. Yeah, you're just like, what the heck, man?
I had that last year. I told you it's crushed. It's a real narrow fairway, and you're not really allowed to slice it because it goes OB. And I hugged and the left side is like all trees, and I hit it and I hugged the trees, and it was a beautiful shot shape, and I hit it like 275, just like a great drive for me. Yeah. And I'm 65 yards out, and I have my 65-yard club, and I chunk it 10 yards into the bunker right in front of me. And I'm just like, after everyone was like, dude, great drive. Wow, that was a great drive. I was like, oh, thanks. Just like,
yeah. So that's my goal. I want to get back to 10% rule. I'll call it my 10% rule. Yeah. Hit the club within 10% of the distance that I usually would, and 10% left to right.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm using, for goals this year, I'm using 25, the number, because it's 2025. Okay.
Nice.
So 25 books.
Nice.
25 million.
Oh, wow.
I don't know what. Just 25 million.
Impressive.
25 birdies. What was my other? I have it written down.
25 birdies. 25 kids.
Oh, gosh, seriously. Maybe it's 25 rounds, 20 birdies. I want to get like a birdie a round. It's kind of like, or just under a birdie a round.
You're 25, man.
Yeah. So 25. I got 25 books, 25 birdies. It's my...
You know what? How about I join you?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. 25 birdies, 25 books. Keep it simple.
Then write 25 articles. That was my third one.
Okay, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to
cut that part right there.
Yeah. I'm just going to stick with the other two. So
yeah, 25 books, 25 birdies. Let's do it.
Yeah, it's a good year. It's easy to remember too.
25, 25, 25.
I'm going to get the books this year. It's easy.
Yeah. Habit stack.
I'll just go get the whole Dr. Seuss series.
There's a Wocket in my pocket.